A palindrome is a word or number or a phrase or other sequence of characters which reads the same as backward and forward. Yes, this is a one type of a concept where if you want to reverse your word or a sequence, you will get the same result, right? Isn't it interesting? Yes, today we are going to see in this tutorial how can you implement this concept using Python. So let's get started with the tutorial. Before start the tutorial, let me introduce that Great Learning has came up with the brilliant idea that is Great Learning Academy, where you will get almost 80 plus free courses, and after complete your course, you can claim your certificate as well. And if you want to do these courses in your mobile application, that is also possible using Great Learning app. So let's get started with the tutorial. So first we are going to talk about what is Python. Why should we learn Python? Then how Python came into the picture, the history of Python. Then we will have a look at why Python is so popular. Then I will help you how can you install Python in your local system. And lastly, we will implement Palindrome using Python, right? So let's get started. What is Python? So Python is a high-level, popular, object-oriented and interpreted language. When we are talking about Python is a popular, high-level, object-oriented and interpreted language, that means Python is basically very easy to learn. And when we are talking about high level, you do not need to take care of the low level languages, right? So the Python is basically, if you know English, you can start writing your code in Python, right? Now we are going to talk about how Python came into the picture. So Python was invented by Rossum in 1989. And Rossum used to love watching comedy movies from late 70s. He needed a short, unique and slightly mysterious name for his language. And in that time, he was watching Monty Python's Flying Circus. And from that series, he decided to give his language name Python. And this is how Python invented. Now, we are going to talk about why you should learn Python. Wait, let me give you the examples and reasons that you can only say, okay, I need to learn Python. Because Python is simple and beginner-friendly languages. So when I'm talking about Python is simple, is basically you don't need to go for learning so many syntaxes. What you need to learn, the indentation and your English. That's all you need to start writing code in Python. Now comes the facilities we have in Python. So the length of the program is very short. When we are talking about any programming language and we start writing any program, let's suppose we just need to write a hello world using Java, C, C++ and Python. If you compare them, for all the languages, you have to write at least 3 to 4 lines of code. But in the case of Python, you just need to write 1 line of code. Yes, that is the catch, like the difference between other languages and Python. Then comes the mathematical computation. So if you need to have some mathematical computation in your program, you don't need to go for writing those programs from scratch. What you need to do, you just need to call the library Python has, and that's all, right? You just need to call those libraries and your work is done. Because there are lots of predefined library we have in Python, they actually help us to do the code using them, right? Now comes wave development. Maybe you are thinking of, okay, I don't want to work with a hard code coding or a data science. I just want to go for wave development. Should I go for Python or Python is a good choice for me? Yes, if you want to go for wave development as well, Python is the best choice for you because Python has lots of frameworks that will help you and make your work done with a very simple steps, right? So yes, if you want to go for web development, that is also possible using Python. Now comes graphical user interface, that is in short known as GUI. Python has some coolest GUI. If you are a gamer, you can start using them, right? So these are the reason I can say why should you learn Python. Now we are going to talk about why Python is popular. That was the reason I have given that why Python you should learn. Now we will have a look at why Python is getting the popularity. because Python has the largest community for learners and collaborators. But wait, what is like community and connected with the language, right? Suppose you are learning Python without anyone's help. So you get some error. How can you solve them? What do you think? So if you go to Python's community and if you can post your doubt and if you ask for help, there are lots of learners and collaborators you will get. They will come up with the help and the solutions, right? So this is where when a language is getting popular or like the community for that particular language matters a lot. Python is open source. It is easy to learn as we already know. Huge numbers of Python libraries and frameworks is there. And Python is also supports big data, machine learning, cloud computing, deep learning, all the new high-tech technologies, right? And it also supports automations, right? Now we are going to talk about how can you install Python. So if you want to install Python, you just need to go to Python's official website, that python.org. From there, you just need to download Python. And if you want to use some IDE, IDEs are integrated development environment. If you want to use them, you can go for using Pycharm or Anaconda or Google Colab, right? These are the most used IDE. Other than that, you will get lots of other varieties in IDE as well. You can check them out. Now, if you look at the statistical measurements of a Python user, I was saying Python is actually a very popular language, so many people are using, but why do you believe me, right? But if you look at the graph, you can see after 2016, there is a direct increment in the graph. The Python users are increased day by day. Why? Because of flexibility, because of its features, right? Now we are going to talk about the Python project we are going to do, that is Palindrome. What is Palindrome? So basically palindromes are those them you can actually start reading them from the first character or reading them backwards doesn't make any difference, right? Suppose you are spelling or you are just going to read a particular string or a character, and if you start reading them for the first, it is same. If you start reading them from the last, it is same. So let me give you an example. Suppose ma'am, M-A-M, right? So, or madam, M-A-D-A-M, right? If you just reverse the word, that word will be same, right? So these are the words known as palindrome. So palindrome is defined as a word, phrase, number, or other sequence of character which reads the same backward as forward, right? So this is known as palindrome. Now we are going to talk about what is a palindrome number. A palindrome number is a collection of numbers which remains the exact same way when we reads backwards. These numbers are also said to be symmetrical. When its digits are reversed, they turn out to be the exact same number as the original number. Example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a palindrome. Try to reverse it. If you want to reverse it, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1 again. So, if the digits are reversed, it again becomes the same number which is our original number, right? Now, let's have a look at what is palindrome string. A palindrome string is a collection of alphabets which remains the exact same way when read backwards. They are also called symmetrical alphabets. When its alphabets are written in reverse order, they turn out to be the exact same combination of alphabets as the original string. Example, I have given you already, that is madam. Madam is a palindrome. It is an alphabet, a reverse, then it will again becomes madam, which was our original string, right? So these are the two types of palindrome. I have given you the example, the string and the number. Now, let's go to Google Colab and let's start with how can you implement palindrome in Python. Now we are going to use Google Colab. So if you never used Google Colab, then I should suggest you to go and check out our new Google Colab tutorial in Great Learning site. It will help you to start with Google Colab. But for the basics, I'm going to show you how can you start up with Google Colab. So go to your favorite browser and just write Google Colab, right? From there, just click on the first link, and from there, just click on that new notebook. Right? This is all you need to do to start working with Google Colab. So basically, Google Colab is one of the most used IDE that is by Google. Right? Now, what we are going to do, first, we are going to make a program on Palindrome which is going to check if a number is palindrome or not. So how can you start with, right? Find if a number is palindrome or not. First, copy the input number in another variable so that we can compare them later. Next, we reverse the given number. To reverse the number, follow these steps. What are the steps we are going to follow? Isolate the last digit of a number. The module operator returns the remainder of a division. Append last digits to reverse. Reverse is equal to reverse into 10 plus last digit. Then remove last digit from number, and number is equals to number divided by 10. Iterate this process while number greater than 0. Now we compare the reverse number with the original number. If the number are same, then the number is palindrome, else it is not. Now we are going to check it out in the code itself. So if you can see, we are going to take a user input. So we took a variable called number, and the number should be int. So if you use input function to take a user input, that time it will be string. So we are going to say enter any number, because in this program we are going to check the number, right? So int, we are converting those number to integer. Okay. Now first you take the number from user. Now you store that number into 10th variable. Then calculate the reverse of this number. So what we are going to do? Reverse num is equals to 0. We are taking a variable. While we are going to give a condition in while loop, while number greater than 0. That means your loop will still continue when your number is greater than 0. If your number is equals to 0, the loop will stop, right? Extract the last digit of this number. How can we do that? Digit is equals to number divided by 10, right? So this is how you will get the last digit of the number. Okay, right. Now what we are going to do? We are going to append this digit in the reverse number. Reverse num is equals to reverse num into 10 plus digit, right? Then float divide the number, leave out the last digit from number, right? So here number is equals to number divided by 10. Now we are going to compare the reverse number to the original number. If your 10 variable, where you have actually store your number, right? If you can see over here, if your 10 is equals to reverse num. So we use equals to operator to check two different variable. So if 10 equals to reverse num, then print the number is palindrome. Otherwise, print the number is not palindrome, right? Let me just execute this program. Yes, they are asking me enter any number. So maybe I am going to put 8. You can see the number is palindrome. Okay, so this is how you can start your first program on Palindrome, which is going to find the number is palindrome or not. Now we are going to use we are going to check a function, or we are going to check a string, it is palindrome or not. How we can do that? To find if a string is palindrome or not, check if the index first and the index last letters are the same. If not same, return false. Repeat step 2 by incrementing the first index and decrementing the last index. Repeat step 3 while first is less than last. If first greater than last, then return true. So if you look at the program, we are going to make a function called check palindrome. From there, we are going to give a parameter, that is your string, right? Now we are going to check the length of your string. Okay, then we are going to take a variable called first is equals to 0. Then you are going to take a variable called last is equals to the length you have of your string minus 1. and we are going to take a parameter called status is equals to 1. So here we are going to take a while loop, that is first is less than last, right? If string of first, right? The first index, this is the first index of the string, you will get the first value of the string is equals to the last value of the string is same, then first is equals to first plus 1 and last is equals to last minus 1. Otherwise, status is equals to 0 and break, right? And return int of status, the value of the status. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to take a string and input. Again, we are taking a string input from the user by writing input function and in that string, right? Then print method 1 and status is equals to check palindrome. Your status will be the variable is equals to check palindrome your function, and you are providing the string you have taken from the user, right? If your status, right, then print it is a palindrome, else sorry, try again, right? Let me try this program. Let me execute that. I am going to write, hey, you can see method 1, sorry, try again. Now I am going to give a proper palindrome over here, maybe madam. So method 1 and it is a palindrome. This is how your palindrome number and palindrome string works. Now we are going to use reverse function in palindrome. Okay. So Python also enables us to use the reverse function. We know intuitively that a word read forwards and backwards if same is a palindrome. Hence, let us generate the forward and backward string for the same and check if the two strings are the same or not. Now, we are going to do the same thing. What we are going to do, we are going to write def, the function. To call a function, to write a function, we need to use a keyword called def, and your function name is check palindrome 1, and then in the parameter you are giving the string, that is a user input, right? And in the reverse string you are going to just use the reverse order, right? How can you do that? It's basically how can you slice a string, right? This is slicing string concepts, and then again you are taking a variable status is equals to 1. If string not equals to reverse string, then status is equals to 0 and you are going to say return the status. String equals to input, enter the string, right? It will hold the user input. Now you are going to store the status. Check palindrome function and you are providing the string you get from the user. Now if status is equals to 1, then obviously print it is a palindrome, otherwise you are going to print else sorry, try again. So here I am going to write ma'am. So it is a palindrome. For other cases, let it try. For other cases, what is going to say? So I am going to write hi. Sorry, try again. Hi is not a palindrome, right? So this is how palindrome works. In different cases you can implement. Now, if you want to actually implement palindrome using linked list, how can you do that? So let's step this up and consider another data structure. What if the data is sorted in a linked list? To tackle this, we need to understand linked list. Linked list is a data structure that has a non-contiguous allocation of memory, right? So now we will begin with by defining a linked list in Python. Okay, how can we do that? So we are going to call the class called list node. There, this init will be your constructor. Okay, so this init in Python working as a constructor. Then you are going to provide self. Self is basically a parameter you need to provide in Python. Now you are giving x, right? Then you are setting self.val equals to x and self.next is equals to none. So now you are going to make a class of solution. There also you are calling a constructor and where you are giving a sequence and self, the both parameter. Now you are going to do self.head is equals to none. For item in sequence, you are saying node is equals to list node of item, right? Then you will go node.next is equals to self.head, and self.head is equals to node, right? So we all know we have two parts in linked list. One is link, one is info, the memory info, right? And this is doing the same. Now we are going to call a function called palindrome, and you are going to provide a self parameter. Now node is equals to self.head. Check if linked list is palindrome and return true or false. And in the where, you are going to say where is equals to node. Now previous is equals to none. So where is a initialized to head and prev is basically initializing prev is none. Now prev approaches to the middle of the list till where reaches n or none. So while where is equals to where dot next, where is equals to where dot next, right? And temp is equals to node dot next. Reverse the elements of the first half of list. Now prev equals to node and node is equals to temp. If where in case of odd number elements, tail is equals to node dot next. Else in case of even num elements, tail equals to node. While prev, compare the reverse element and next half elements. If prev.val is equals to tail.val, then tail is equals to tail.next and prev is equals to prev.next. Else return false. Then lastly it will return true for all the class, right? Now if you want to check the solution, let me just execute that. Now I said list 1, my variable will actually return, like take the output from the class, and I said solution, and I have given a series of list 786373687, right? Then print this and this, and then print the it is palindrome or not. Let me just execute that. Yes, you can see for the first case it is saying it is true. For the second case it's saying no, it is false. It's not a palindrome. For the third case again 373 is a palindrome. For 1 again it's a palindrome, right? So this is how our palindrome techniques works. So thank you guys. I hope this tutorial helped you to understand how palindrome works and how can you implement palindrome using Python. So if you want to learn more techniques like this, and if you also want to learn more Python programming, then please do subscribe Great Learning YouTube, and also do let us know in the comment section how you feel about the tutorial. Thank you so much.